It's 6:30 in the morning in Vancouver. Bonjour, welcome back to the one who attended yesterday the conferences. I am Franck, the co-founder of Best of France with Julien. Julien is behind the screen. Just before we start our conference today, a few words. First one about the Best of France. Best of France is a brand. Actually, we started like almost 2 years ago. It's a brand that you can follow on Instagram. We have up to 7,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook. We almost reached 34,000 followers on that platform. But Best of France is more than just a brand. Best of France is as well the place where we want to create opportunities for business, tourism, and education between Canada and France. And for that, we have a team in France with Manuela and Simon that I just want to say hi to them because they are somewhere watching as well. This is what we call today chapter 2 of our series of events in 2021. We started in June a few months ago, and that was about the opportunities in terms of wine and gastronomy product in the Canadian market. Today we follow up with yesterday's series of conference about education, and I will come back on that with a detailed agenda. And we will have in most likely November an event about tourism. We have today 3 conferences. The first one will be success stories, and that is following up what we had yesterday about a different panel where we introduce and present the different options that are available in France for any Canadian students, and another panel where we talk about the different administration tasks before you reach the student goes to France to start studying, and we talk about the visas and everything. All those panel will be available by the end of this week on our YouTube video channel. So feel free to click and watch them or rewatch them again if you missed anything. We would start today with a success story. We think that's very interesting to share the experience of students from France and to share with you guys what is their what they learned from their time in France on that. We're going to have as well a special session on the cultural preparedness. As I mentioned, French people are very good and famous for eating snails, but not only that, frog legs too. So you have to be very, very ready when you go to France. And there's some cliches as well that it's maybe important to put away when you want to consider France as an option. And the last presentation will be about the dual programs we do have in the Canadian universities. In here, we do have some dual programs where it is possible for Canadian students who entered any universities like in UBC or the universities in Canada to have a chance to go to France. So that session would be for them as well. That is the end of my introduction. I will pass the mic to Benjamin. Benjamin today is our moderator for the first panel. Benjamin is a student from Sciences Po in Paris. He's a co-founder of Planète Grandes Écoles. Planète Grandes Écoles is this medium between Grandes Écoles. You will learn what Grandes Écoles means, basically great schools, business schools in France, and the world of corporations and companies. The idea is for Planète Grandes Écoles to help and accompany the students during their career, their studying path in France. I will now pass on the mic and the floor to you, Benjamin, you to introduce your panel and to start the session. I will see you later on with questions that anyone wants to address any question. Please feel free to click on the chat sessions and ask us any question. I'll return those questions to Benjamin. Benjamin, the floor is yours.
No problem. Thank you, Frank, about the introduction. Is everything okay with the mic? I think it's okay. If there is a problem, please feel free to. Okay, in the chat, it's okay. So happy, nice to meet you. I am Benjamin. I am 24. I am a student here in Sciences Po Paris, which is a big university in France, kind of mix between private school and public school, where many students study about politics, about social sciences, about economy as well, about strategy and finance and so on. So the school is particularly famous and reputed for its political formations, and we we had a lot of ministers and presidents who were here at Sciences Po Paris. And so we will discuss later on how you can join Sciences Po Paris here in France. I'll be here today with two of my colleagues and friends who both are students in Grande École as well. We will also discuss what exactly a Grande École is in France, because we have on the one side the Grandes Écoles and on the other side the universities, and I think we will make it clear for you to distinguish between both of them. So the first guest is Dorian Zerroudi, who is a student you will see in a business school in France, and the second guest is Abdelsamad, who is also a student in a French Grande École, but in an engineering Grande École. So we will try to discuss about their path, their stories, and yes, we will answer all of your questions on how you can join the Grande École in France, but also on why you should maybe come to France to have a French program for your studies. Dorian, Abdelsamad, nice to meet you today. Who want to start with a little presentation? Maybe you can start to introduce yourself with your background, your city, your time frame as well.
Yes, I can start if you want, Abdelsamad. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Dorian Zerroudi, student currently at EM Lyon Business School in Master in Management, in Master degree. And before integrating EM Lyon Business School, I did preparatory classes. It's a kind of formation very specific in France. It's 2 years, very intense, and the aim of this preparation is to integrate the best school in France. And after my preparation, I integrated EM Lyon Business School, and in this school, I'm studying entrepreneurship, strategy, innovation, business, and in EM Lyon, at EM Lyon, I developed 2 entrepreneurial projects that I will explain after that if you want. And Abdelsamad, if you want to present you.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Abdelsamad. I'm 27 years old, and I recently graduated from Mines Saint-Etienne, which is an engineering school. I started with 2 years of a technical diploma, which is another way to go in an engineer school if you want to work on a work-study basis. So it's another way to make your scholarship.
Okay, thank you both of you for your quick introduction. I would like to know first, when you were at high school, what did you have any idea of what you will want to do in the future, of which type of school is perfectly suited for you? Like Dorian, you are in business school. Abdelsamad, you are in engineering school. If we think back 5 years back, did you have any idea of what type of things you wanted to do when you will grow up as an adult?
Personally, I did not have the slightest idea about Grande École in France. I know only the university, the classic way after high school. And I did the preparatory classes because it's a very exigent way, and I went to discover a new thing, to discover the determination, a new kind of organization, and I did this kind of formation. And after this formation, the best way, the only way after that is the integration in a Grande École, in engineering school, like Abdelsamad, for instance, or in business school, like HEC, ESSEC, ESCP, EM Lyon, etc. This kind of school known in the world. And thanks to this preparation, to the class préparatoire, I had another vision of the Grande École, and I see when I did this kind of formation, the impact and the importance of the Grande École in France and in the world. And back 5 years, I did not the idea, but now I'm sure that it's a very inspiring and important formation in France, and I'm sure in the world.
Thank you, Abdelsamad. For you?
When I was in high school, I knew I wanted to build things, to work on solutions, to resolve problems. So at this age, I knew I wanted to go on an engineering school. So I worked my path, and I studied technical curriculum, so that I could work on a work-study basis, because it was very important to me to have half of practice and half of theory in school.
All right.
But it's very important, Benjamin, to underline the fact that in business school, like in engineering school, you have the possibility to do a double master degree. For instance, I'm currently a student at EM Lyon, but I have the possibility to do a double degree with an engineering school. In France, this aspect is the hybridation, the skills hybridation. It's it's very current in France, and we have the possibility to do that with university, with engineering school, with another business school, with another business school in Canada, in the US, for instance, or in Europe, in Asia, etc.
That's it. Thank you for making it clear. First, I would like to make a little distinction between grandes écoles and universities in France. This is a typical French system, grandes écoles and university. On the one hand, you have the university, like you graduate from high school, and then you go on with a path on the university for a licence, the equivalent of the bachelor, and then you pursue your path with a master degree. So 5 years after you graduate high school, you have a master degree, and that's for university. You can go on economics, you can go on science, on biology, you can go in every field you want to go. That's the university. And so there are many universities. The most famous ones are, of course, Sorbonne, that's very renowned abroad. There is also Dauphine in Paris. There is a Panthéon in Paris as well. The most prestigious ones, of course, are in Paris. There are also many universities in Lyon, in Marseille, in all the big cities in France that are really good. They have a good reputation, but maybe a little less than in Paris. So that was for the universities. There is no big selection, no big. There is no competition to enter these universities. You just go after you graduate high school, and then you pass year after year different stages. That was for the universities. On the other hand, you have what we call here a grande école. A grande école, maybe we can translate it by top tier school, which are the most prestigious schools in France. We call it grande école because historically, you don't get to a grande école just after you graduate high school. You have to train hard during 2 years to pass a competitive exam, which is called the concours, the French concours. And the first one to the concours can access the most prestigious schools. It starts for the business school with HEC, for instance, and you go down with a less prestigious business school. That was for business school. For engineering schools, that the very same the very same way of work. You pass a concours, and then you can get the first business engineering school in France, which is called Polytechnique. Then you can enter Centrale Supélec, then Mines Paris Tech, and then you go down, and these are also the less prestigious engineering school. The major difference between business school, Grande École Business School, and Grande École Engineering School in France is that for engineering school, there are really a lot of specializations. For instance, you can enter an engineering school because you want to study mechanics, because you want to study, I don't know, like maybe to build the bridges, or to work on woods, for instance. That's not. Sorry, Abdelsamad?
I said also for informatic skills.
For informatic as well, just like you did. For business schools, that's kind of more general. You in every business school, you will learn about finance. You will learn about strategic consulting. You will learn about accounting and so on. So that was a distinction, a typically French distinction between university and grandes écoles here in France. So for American students and Canadian students as well, you have different degrees when you come here in France. Dorian, maybe you can establish the distinction, between bachelor degrees and master in management degrees or master in engineering degrees so the people from Canada know well about the system in France.
Yes, the bachelor degree in France, it's not the same that in Canada or in the US. The bachelor degree in France is less prestigious than the master degree and the programme Grande École. The programme Grande École is like the master in management. It's the best one in France, and in a lot of ranking, in the Financial Times, in QS, in a lot of ranking that you can see. The program represented is the programme Grande École, the master in management. The master in management during 3 to 4 years after preparation classes, the competitive exam, the French concours, or after an integration after high school, after university, I'm sorry, you can go to the business school so as to do the programme Grande École. And the bachelor degree, it's directly after high school. And this program can last 3 to 4 years also. But the graduation is less prestigious for companies. And the knowledge in the world is less prestigious than the master Grande École, the master degree. It's so clear, Benjamin?
That is. So we'll discuss later on how you can candidate for both degrees, bachelor on the one side and master degrees on the other side. We'll see it a little bit later. But before, I would like to ask you a couple of questions. Dorian, Abdelsamad, when you first arrived in your school, did you have any idea of the field, the professional field you wanted to do? For instance, Abdelsamad, what type of jobs can be accessible after an engineering school? And the very same question for you, Dorian, after Abdelsamad.
Yes.
Okay, it depends on what field you study. For example, if you study an informatic curriculum, you will work on software development or cybersecurity, for example. And if you studied mechanical engineering, you will work on you will conceive machines or conceive, for example, bridges and many constructions. So it really depends on what you studied in school. But a great thing with an engineer diploma is that you can work in very in many different fields, because the scholarship is very complete. You have informatic, you have management, you have human management, communication, etc., etc.
And yes,
that's not only based on scientific topics.
No, it's not only the technical skills. You have human skills. You have your soft skills and technical skills, of course.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Abdelsamad.
And in business school, it's more general because during the first year in business school in France, we studied the basic of management. It's marketing, it's human resource, it's accounting and finance, it's data, it's analysis, it's advising, also consulting, etc. And that I see, it's the majority of students in business school after graduation will go to finance and accounting for the major part. Also in accounting and auditing, I think that it's that. Also marketing, also entrepreneurship. Like me, I will explain that after. Human resources. In business school, the field are very general, and you have also the possibility to choose, for instance, a specification, MSc in, for instance, in cybersecurity, in coding, in the tech also.
That's it. And so you can join this kind of schools. If you want to join it in master, you have to pass what we call the GMAT exam. That's a logical and pretty simple mathematical tests. You have to train on this, of course, but this is one part of the admission process. You also have to pass an oral interview with maybe members of the school, so they can be sure your profile suit with the values of the school and so on. So we'll discuss it later on how you can candidate, but that's it. What you have to know is the French Grandes Écoles, and we'll essentially speak of Grandes Écoles because that's the subject today, and we are Planète Grandes Écoles, so we can discuss it a lot. French Grandes Écoles are really general. You can do basically anything you want after a Grande École, so long as the school is known and reputed in the corporation. And the companies are really close to French Grande École. For instance, most of the time we don't come to the companies. The companies come to us in our schools to recruit us and just to know more about what we want to do. If we are looking for internships, if we're looking for there is a French system that is called alternance. It's a specific system in which you can both work for a company and both student go and study at school, and so the company pays for the tuition fees. That's pretty interesting, and maybe we should put in focus on that later. So yeah, that's it. You have to know that French Grandes Écoles are really known here in France, but also in Europe. Maybe if you want, you can check the Financial Times rankings, the QS rankings. There is the Dorian, maybe you can help me. You know it better than me.
About the other ranking?
Shanghai rankings.
Yes,
as well.
Shanghai Times Higher Education also. QS FT that you say. It's the Economist, but it's not the best, I think.
That's not really reliable. So of course you have to look the rankings on the web, but you also need to be aware about these rankings, because there are many schools that pay for the rankings. So to be clear, let's take it with precautions. All right, so maybe a little question for both of you. What is so far, what has been so far the best memory you have in your school? We will discuss later about the clubs, the associations in the schools. But apart from clubs and associations, so far, what has been your best memory, Dorian, in your business school and Abdelsamad in your engineering school?
Personally, I would say the creation of my first companies, my first company, because it's a good moment, and it's very important for me now. The first company is Mr. Prepa. And the aim of Mr. Prepa is to help students to excel in the competitive exam in the preparatory classes, so as to prepare the French concours in order to integrate the school of their dream, the best school in France after the Grande École. And it's for me the best experience that I develop thanks to business school, thanks to my business school, thanks to the tools that my business school give to me.
All right, so entrepreneurship for you, Dorian, thank you.
Yes.
Abdelsamad, what about you?
Okay. I don't have only maybe one best memory. I don't think so. But the fact that you don't get bored because of the great skills of the teachers, I think this is one of the best things I preferred. I think so. And they helped me reach my goals with everything they could. So this is one of the best thing I see in Grande École, at least at my school. And of course, the school life made better thanks to the many organizations. We can work on other subjects than school subjects with other students. Like, for example, you can work on your passions. For example, I was working with some students on robotic automation. We were testing some robots. We were conceiving some robots just to express our skills and to make our school life better. To how can I say that? It's another way to make your skills grow up outside of the school time.
Yes, it's a good thing, Abdelsamad, because even if for business school, it's the tuition fees, it's very important, but the accompaniment, it's very good than classic university. It's for me the main strengths about business school in France, but also I think engineering school, this proximity with action learning, learning by doing. It's very in application. It's in the Grande École more than university.
That's it. So this is an interesting point we have to highlight. What about the proximity between teachers and students in France? For instance, at the university in France, you have to know, Canadian students, that French universities are often criticized for the distance between the teachers and the students. Not always, because there are many great universities where you can study really well. But the French Grandes Écoles are really known for the proximity between the teachers and the students. Dorian, Abdelsamad, maybe you could tell us more about how many of you students were in class at the same time. Were they big amphitheaters of students, or many works in groups of students? Did you feel a real proximity with your teachers? Or on the contrary, maybe teachers were more busy with other stuff and so on?
All depend on the subject. For instance, the very basic, for instance, I had last year courses in law. These courses would be in amphitheater, and we would, I think, more than 100 in the amphitheater. But for more interesting subjects, for more action subjects, for instance, in strategy consulting about the training, so as to enter in the MBB, the best company in the world, in entrepreneurship, so as to elaborate a business plan. The proximity is very important for this kind of subjects. But for me, in business school, all depend on the subject. More general subject will be in amphitheater, in very high classes, big classes, and more specific subject, technical subject, and very important subject would be teaching in a very restrained number.
Okay, so proximity most of the time with the students.
Yes.
In engineering school?
When it was for pure theory, we were in an amphitheater, so we were a class of 100 people. But despite that, we had the chance to exchange with the teacher, and even to exchange with the other students. So it wasn't a problem. We weren't isolated in the amphitheater. So, but as Dorian said, when we went on technical courses or practice courses, we were in very small classes. For example, between 10 and 15 people. So it was very easy to have a proximity with the teachers and to have a better how can I put that? It was very easy to discover the way you have to practice, the way you have to express our skills, and yeah, I think it wasn't a problem to have proximity with the teachers.
Okay, and there is one thing you should know about the French Grande École is that many teachers are from the companies. Many teachers comes directly from the companies. We have on the one hand researchers and teachers that make both teaching and searching for their living. But in the same time, we have a lot of teachers that are in the same time employed in the companies. Many they are directors on companies, or they are the head of strategy district in L'Oréal or in Renault or in I don't know, maybe Hugo Boss or McKinsey or anything. So we have this professional side that we have in Grande École that is very, very strong. So they finish their day, for instance, and then they get back to school to teach to the students. And one thing you should know as well is that the alumni network is really powerful in a Grande École. That's the reason why, for instance, I'm talking about Sciences Po because that's the school I know the most. Here at Sciences Po, maybe 60 or 70% of our teachers are ex-students from Sciences Po. They now work in the embassy or in the ministers or maybe big companies, and they take of their time to get back to school to teach us the basic of strategy, the basic of what they have learned from the 20 last years. So that's a very interesting point we have to highlight about this subject is that the alumni come back in the school to become a teacher in the very same time that they are working in companies at very interesting jobs. There is another question I would like to ask you. It's about the cities. Okay, we are talking about we're talking with people who come from Canada. Maybe you all heard about France, of course, Paris, maybe Marseille or Lyon. Abdelsamad, Dorian, you are from Lyon, the second one city in France. I am here myself in Paris, so I will talk about Paris just later. So if there are questions on Paris, feel free to write it on the chat. Dorian, Abdelsamad, what do you think about the second city of France, Lyon?
Abdelsamad, can you start if you want?
Yeah. It's a very dynamic city. So if you want to spend some time outside the school, it won't be a problem. You will have to, you can find whatever you want to either way. If you want to work outside the school, if you want to spend some good time with friends, it's a very cultural city, so you have to know that in France, Lyon is a very popular city for its culture. So you won't get bored. And maybe Dorian, if you have something else to say.
Yes, of course. It's Lyon. It's one of the best city for students, and also Paris, also Toulouse. In the south of France, and about cities in general, the city when you will go, where you will go, so as to study in France, it's a very popular city for students, and you can meet other people, French people, also international students that can go in France, so to study like you, and it's very good for that. And also France, it's very good because you can go in Swaziland, in Italy, in Germany. It's very nearly in France, and in Lyon we have this proximity, and we can go in other country very frequently. So it's very important. And about the cost of living, Paris, Lyon, the big city in France, it's also you can have
It's affordable.
Yes, also, and the cost of living, it's more important, and you can anticipate that when you can come in France, because it's important to prepare that.
That's it.
But you have to know that you will be helped by your school if you have difficulties with financial difficulties or even social difficulties. You will always find a way to solve the problem. You have the school to help you. You have even state programs which will help you to find a solution. So you will never be alone.
That's right. For instance, at my school here in Sciences Po, there is a specific department which helps only international students. For instance, they are dedicated. They spend their entire days to help foreign students to be there in Paris, to find a housing in Paris, and just to make sure everything is okay for them. Maybe I will talk about Paris a little bit. I used to live in Lyon, just like Dorian and Abdelsamad before, but then I moved to Paris for my studies. So maybe I can tell you the differences between the French capital Paris and the city of Lyon. Paris is huge. That's really a huge city in which you can find anything you want. That's a really multicultural city. There are many people from all around the world. In my neighborhood at Sciences Po, I think I hear more about English than French in the neighborhood, because there are many people from all around the world. So there are always things to do. You can, of course, watch sports. Soccer here is really famous. That's the major sport here in France. Of course, with the Paris Saint-Germain, maybe you can have heard about. And Paris as well is a place where you can travel easily. For instance, there is London, just I think 2 hours. Brussels as well for Belgium. There is also Netherlands nearby. So Paris is a huge city in which there are many students. And what I noticed about Paris is that people come here to meet people. There is that a specific side of Paris, that Paris is for business, Paris is for students, and Paris is for culture. While Lyon, you can spend more of your life in Lyon if you want to be tranquille, we say in France, if you want to live slowly, quiet, and so on. But Paris, yeah, everything is going fast. If you want a business life, everything is here in Paris. So we have 5 minutes left, guys. I would like you to give maybe a piece of advice for foreign students, or maybe, I don't know, if you would like to say a few words to conclude these exchanges. Yeah, maybe to so they can candidate here in France. If you would like to recommend coming here to study in France or not, maybe, I don't know. You have the speech.
Coming in France, studying in France, it's an opportunity, and if you have the opportunity to go in France or to study or to meet French people, to catch the culture and catch new opportunities, it's very good, because you will have the possibility to meet other people, and also to understand French more and more, because it's a very important language, and France, it's a good opportunity if you want to go to study in France.
Thank you, Dorian.
For myself, I will say that never stay alone, make friends, and be with people, because they will always give you what you need to spend a good time in France, and to make yourself more comfortable here in your French city, and build yourself a network, because you can it will be easier for you later to access to a big company if you have a good network here in France.
That's it. Thank you. Franck, maybe you have the word of the end.
Yeah, of course. First, to thank you very much for all those tips and success stories that you share with the audience. Of course, we have a few questions, but you cover basically most of the questions that were asked prior to the topics that you talk later on. There is one question about preparatory class, but I will come back to that by return to that person. I just want to wrap up and thank you very much, Abdelsamad and Dorian, of course, Benjamin, for your time and for sharing with us your experience. It was again a very, very interesting session. I just want to remind people about Grandes Écoles. Planète Grandes Écoles, sorry. You do have a website. It's in French, but for the one who wants to know more about Planète Grandes Écoles, Planète with the E at the end, Grandes Écoles with the S.com. Is that right, Benjamin?
Yes.
You could go there and then you will have a lot of information. Thank you again very much. We're going to start in 10 minutes a new session about the cultural differences between France and the rest of the world. I wish you guys a good end of day. For us, it's in the morning. For the people who are attending, just stay tuned. Sorry, for another 10 minutes. We're going to start the new session. And just for me again to thank you very much for your time and wishing you a good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.